So I saw the Lego Movie 2, the second part, and it was a really, really good movie. Um, I was, really excited for this movie to come out, and um, it's a good movie. It takes place 5 years after the first Lego Movie, which is kind of why they waited 5 years. The whole Apocalypseburg thing at the beginning wasn't really nothing that much. It was just there, and then the characters, get taken away, and Emmett has to find them, and that's basically the whole movie. It's just Emmett trying to, um, get his friends back, and it works like that. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of creativity behind it. The movie looks gorgeous, I gotta say. There's not really cinematography in this movie. It's all CGI. Visually, it looks great. Um, a lot of the jokes are really awful in this movie. They're very miss or hit. A major problem that it's kind of in the movie a lot. They keep acknowledging the references that they are in the movie. There are really good references. Like there's a 2001: A Space Odyssey where Emmett goes into like some weird portal thing or whatever, and it's supposed to be like 2001 when that dude's going into the portal, and what's it called? The the spaceship that the girl flies is really similar to the one in 2001: A Space Odyssey. A lot of those references are good, but then you have it's just kind of, oh, it's Bruce Willis, and they keep cutting back to Bruce Willis like in Lego form, even though that's like a rated R movie. You have dramatic scenes, and then you have to add this, funny thing joke, and it takes away from the dramaticness of the scene. I guess they appeal to kids a lot in this movie because there's a lot of musical numbers in this movie to appeal to little kids, and it works a little bit in this movie. At first, it's really awful. A lot of it could have been cut out, and it's just really bad. But later on, they actually have some meaning behind the musical numbers in the movie, and it works fine. The villain of the movie, which is basically a future version of Emmett, was a little bit of a twist, I gotta say, because the whole Duplo things, that was in the Lego movie. Oh my God, they're gonna destroy and whatever, and it's gonna be like a sister, brother thing, which it is. It's kind of like a letting go kind of movie. It's easy to let go of things, but it's hard to open yourself up to those things, which is a good message. The first one was about being creative and like, oh, fuck the authority, just build whatever the fuck you want. And it's a great message, because usually kids movies, are always like, oh, love your family, love everyone, be happy, don't let your dreams be dreams. They're so ham-fisted. And in this movie, we actually have a good message. I mean, it kind of has that, love your family thing. It's just kind of there to appeal to kids a little bit more. And I just really didn't like that. I wish they just, like, kind of cut that out. But, I mean, it still has a great message for little kids. Really didn't have that much of an emotional impact on me. Wasn't really that well written, but it still was decent enough. Focuses on only three of the characters, Lucy, Rex, which is future Emmett, and Emmett himself. People who made this movie really knew what they wanted to make. They were kind of a little bit not so much as creative because, the producers, I feel like, just they kind of forced a little bit too much stuff to make it appealing to kids. Overall, I think for kids it's a great movie. You know, you have enough um, musicals and jokes so kids don't get bored by the backstory and message. But there is a lot of that, you know, hidden meaning, like there was in the first one, which I really did like because, I mean, there's a little bit kind of pandering, but but the rest of it, it's just, you know, it's really subtle, and you know, I love that about this movie. Like it was in the first movie. The first movie was much more serious and um, a little bit darker than this movie was. Towards the end, it's kind of dark a little bit, but you know, we have to add in unfunny jokes. Yeah, it's overall I'll give it a 7 out of 10. You know, I think it's a really really good movie. Um, Not as great or you know well written as the first one, but it's still a really really good sequel, and you know it's better than most sequels like Incredibles 2 or Finding Dory 2 or Cars 2, but it's still a really really good you know kids movie sequels because not many Disney movies have good sequels. You know, usually the first one is the best, and you really shouldn't make a second one because there's no intention to, unless there's meaning behind it. And this movie it worked because it actually had a meaning behind it, and there was a story, and they had characters that changed throughout the movie. And overall, it's just a really good movie. Um, you know, there are a lot of complaints, but it's still a good movie, and it's an entertaining movie. I enjoyed it, and yeah. Alright, I gotta get back to doing stuff. So yeah.